I want to talk about our sister, Breonna Taylor. And it's been a year, and it has been so troubling to see this story unfold, and to see the games and the manipulations that have been played, particularly as it pertains to the justification of her murder, the fact that we're still waiting and fighting for justice. On Saturday in downtown Louisville and across the country, marchers and protesters marked 1 year since the tragic murder of Breonna Taylor. She was killed exactly 1 year ago on Saturday when Louisville police officers raided her apartment and killed her in her sleep. Her death last year, along with that of George Floyd and so many others, sparked the Black Lives Matter protests that ripped through the country last summer. The familiar chant of "Say Her Name" filled Jefferson Square Park in Louisville, where many of Breonna Taylor's family members and activists gathered to memorialize her and push for justice. I just want us to take a minute and listen to some of Sadiqa Reynolds, president of the Louisville Urban League their speech at Jefferson Square Park.
And when I woke up this morning, I thought about how blessed I am.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't wake up on the first anniversary of the death of my child. Louisville, Kentucky. If you have never waken up on the first anniversary of the death of your daughter, you have no idea what Tamika Palmer is going through.
Now, Kenneth Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, had the charges against him permanently dismissed. He also spoke at the event on Saturday, and he thanked the crowd for their support and urged them to continue to fight for the movement. James, the thing about this is that while there were no charges brought literally on behalf of Breonna Taylor, they tried to charge her boyfriend, and they had to go through the entire process of having the charges dismissed. And it is another example of how justice in this system, in this country, is rooted in not our humanity, but in the system, right? And what I mean by that is he had a human right to defend himself against that home invasion.
Yep.
But they charged him. The police officers had no right because they were at the wrong damn house. No knock warrant. But they would not charge that officer specifically for the murder of Breonna Taylor. I think they charged him with wanton endangerment because a bullet flew through somebody else's apartment. Yep. That just shows you how much justice really doesn't mean in this country.
You know, a whole year later, and still nothing's done. It just goes to show you that this justice system is totally against us. Yeah. Because this is somebody that was innocent. He was protecting his domicile. Yeah. And you shot through this house like with no regard for anything. Yeah. So it's, you know, you kind of question, you hope something will happen and we get that justice. But hey, protest, get it done. Because let's not be quiet on this. The justice needs to be served.
And let me tell you something, man. This past summer was the moment. Because it wasn't just black folks out there protesting. Mm-hmm. It was your white soccer moms were out there protesting.
Yep.
Right? They had had enough too. And there were, you know, the white soccer moms got really familiar with how this police state actually works, because I'll never forget that one particular sister in Seattle, white woman, who had on her pink bicycle helmet, and she was being swarmed and attacked by the police because she was there on behalf of Black lives. And what troubles me about that moment was the absence of some of the people who be online shouting about revolution all the damn time. Black lives aligned with soccer moms to challenge this police state on behalf and to challenge white supremacy. And the thing is, like, there's literally like there's like one step. All you got to do is from white supremacy to capitalism, there's like just turn that much and you can make the argument. You can show people that this white supremacist police state is a byproduct of capitalism. This is how it protects itself. But all the people who were online shouting revolution, at that point, they were talking about cancel culture. And so for me, it was my own personal awakening to realize, oh, some of these people ain't really about this revolution. Some of these people, when it came down time for us to actually be about it, because if you add on top of the fact that it wasn't just George Floyd that we protested for, it wasn't just Breonna Taylor, we were also protesting against the police state and the militarized state that Donald Trump was wielding out like he didn't care. Like he was pushing and tear gassing and flashbanging protesters in order so that he can go do a picture with his generals, right? And so it was the exact moment that folks had been waiting on in order to challenge this system at a meaningful level. And people who are talking about revolution right now, people who are talking about force to vote, and all people who talk about all that stuff, they were nowhere to be found. Right. People who are making league with right wing, Glenn Greenwald, I'm gonna call him out as much as I need to. He was talking about cancel culture, fighting on behalf of the white woman from the New York Times, right? At that moment, when we had an opportunity to unify the righteous indignation of black folks, white folks, and everybody who realized that this police state is not only oppressive, but destructive, folks are worried about cancel culture. And those are the same folks right now who are trying to make league with right wing. And while I'm doing my best to stay out of that particular fight, I don't think I can, because it represents to me how commodified the ideal revolution is in this country. In other words, people can make money off of it, but when it comes down time for it, they're nowhere to be found.